homebistro.com. Freshly prepared, home-delivered, restaurant-quality gourmet meals delivered straight to your home. Choose from over 50-plus gourmet meal options cooked by world-class chefs and delivered frozen, ready to eat within minutes and no commit. Welcome to the One Shop Gourmet Food Delivery, specializing in affordable options to eat right and feel great. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Every ingredient is handpicked to the highest standard. And why you should buy from homebistro.com? Restaurant quality, made with natural ingredients, delivered right to your door. Overnight shopping is available. Diabetic, paleo, heart health, and vegetarian options to eat. Doing business since 1999. Courteous, knowledgeable, and professional support. Complete PCI compliant SSL security ordering, and great meals. Choose from some of my favorite dishes: the Mediterranean chicken with orange honey sauce, the charbroiled chicken romesco, or the grilled chicken breast with sweet and spicy vegetables. No matter what you choose, you can't lose with homebistro.com. Eat great, feel good, and save some money with homebistro.com. Hit the link in the description section below for more information. Located in Henderson, Nevada, bulksupplements.com supplies over 400 pure nutritional supplements, ingredients to hundreds of thousands of consumers and manufacturers. All of their products are available from grams to metric tons through their online store at bulksupplements.com. Orders received 4 noon Pacific Standard Time shipped the same day. Their FDA registered CGMP manufactured and distributing facility has a staff over 60 full-time employees that take pride in providing excellent customer service and producing quality products for their customers. The wellness of the community is of the utmost importance to Bulk Supplements. It's dedicated to maintaining all health code and government regulation. Each supplement is tested in their in-house laboratory before distribution, ensuring that all products are safe for consumption. For any additional testing, they utilize reputable and vetted US-based independent labs. Customer service is available 7 days a week from 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time through live chat, phone, and email. Bulk Supplements products are produced in an FDA registered and inspected manufacturing facility. So if you want quality supplements at a quality price, Bulk Supplements is the company for you. Bulk Supplements, clean and pure bulk supplements. Check the link in the description section below for more information. TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. Who That family, check out the Pro Shop. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform stores where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who That too.
Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. welcome. #1 sports talking lead. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies in the vets, players you should look at. It's the sports coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, who that nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the sports coma, all we know is Saints Super Bowl. Yeah.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Who that to the Black and Gold Nation, man. We in this thing for another installment, man. Sports Coma is going down. Big up to the Great Saint Think Tank. We in the building, man. Midnight Madness, huh? Big ups to the Great Saint Think Tank, the best of the Black and Gold Nation. We in this thing, man. Like I always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. I'm Big Q, your host, and you're the best of the Black and Gold Nation. The Great Saint Think Tank is well represented in the building. What's good with it, fam? What's going on? So I'd like to thank everybody for a special stream. Big ups to the family members, man. I never could forget about the fam, man. I thought I'd just sprinkle this one on y'all. Tonight, man, we're going to cover the Saints 2021 offseason defensive end outlook and more Saints news and notes. So with that being said, I say who that to the greatest and the biggest of the Saints family members, most determined, most loyal, most strongest, the toughest, smartest, the Great Saint Tank salute, the Great Saint Think Tank salute to the Who Dat Nation. We in the building. So strike upon the like button, family. We in this thing. Much love to all the people that's in the live stream as we get going with this show. And before we get into the talks, we're going to go over our roll call momentarily as well. So I'd like to start off with Brian Pearson, who that to you? T-Mama, what's up, Tyra, baby? Who that to you? Tramal, fresh from the Pelican post-game report, is in the building. Donovan, what's up, brother? Donovan, who that to you, fam? Good to see you in the chat. Much love, Donovan Grayson. All right, Miss Sexy Blacksmith, what's up, fam? How you doing, baby? Who that to you? Good to see you. Ferg 318, who that to you? Cameron, what's up, Cameron? Who that to you, fam? Young City Night Ward in the building as well. Who that to you? Kyle Walter, what's up, Kyle? Who that to you, fam? Long time no see. Good to see you in the chat, fam. All right, who else we got chiming in on this thing? I like Morgan, what's up, Morgan? Who that to you? No announcement on Breeze yet, but it's supposed to be forthcoming. GM Kev, straight from the Pelican post-game report. That's right, we had a very entertaining Pelican post-game report, and that's right, back for more. All right, Bubba down south, what's up, Bubba? Who that to you? Brandon Cormier, who that to you? Brandon. Ja Williams, who that to you as well? And all the Great Saint Think Tank, Jared Paul Jr., a.k.a. the OG, who that to you, fam? Much love. All right. All right, fam. Appreciate you. Tramal said Q is a bat. He's Batman. All right. Big ups to the family members, man. Thank y'all for being here, man. On this edition of the Coma, please strike upon the like button. And also like to give shouts out and thanks to all of the new family members of the Great Saint Think Tank tonight. Rick Harris 1, who that to you? Thank you for subscribing and joining the family. Who else we got there? I want to make sure I get everybody there. Hold on here, fam. Let me make sure I get everybody here. We got the Frankie Figs. The Frankie Figs, who that to you? Thank you for subscribing. Donna Wiener, thank you, Donna. Who that to you? Nick, I hope I'm saying this right, Nick. Nick Sheliano, who that to you as well. These are all new family members. Vernon Carter, who that to you, Vernon. Thank you for subscribing. Cedric Macion, what's up, Ced? Thank you, fam. Appreciate you. Perez JD62, thank you, Perez. Who that to you as well. Let's see what else we got right here. Stephen G, who that to you? Michael Hagan, Thank you, Michael, as well. Appreciate your family. And I think that's everybody, man. Appreciate y'all. Hold on, maybe Cosmic Creations. All right. Cosmic Creations, who that to you as well. And thank all of those guys. Appreciate y'all love and joining the Great Saint Think Tank. Appreciate your family. Much love to all you guys out there as well. So in this installment of the Coma, man, I know we kind of late, but late is better than never. CT Crush, what's up, family? Good to see you in the building. Much love to my dog, CT Crusher, as well. Good to see you in here, fam. In this one, fam, we're going to talk about the off-season defensive line, or not the D line, but the defensive end position, because I broke it up, the DN or edge rusher, as they will call it, the defensive end or edge rusher position. Broke that up from the interior defensive line position, which is a whole nother kettle of fish that I want to talk about. Mickey Thompson, what's up, Mickey? Who that to you, fam? Thank you for joining us, Mickey. Much love. Appreciate you. So with that being said, we're going to cover that, man. We're going to cover all the latest news, notes, and items today in this version of the Sports Coma about Zach Strief. We're going to talk about the Saints draft and then what they were able to meet up one of the draft potential draft guys as well. We're going to also talk about some of the salary cap. Usually when we do our positional breakdowns. What's up, Tasha? Simply Tasha, who that to you? Good to see you in the chat as well. All right, so we'll usually talk about, when we go through our outlook positions from position to position, on the defensive end, we'll usually go at it from the depth chart, because I like to show the family members, what I'm talking about, as opposed to just be up here talking. I like to use the aids, the visual aids, to be able to show the family the depth charts, then move from that to talking about the free agents, looking at your team, the free agents, looking at your cap situation, then going into the free agency, and also using the draft as well to show the family members the different emotions or whatever that we're looking at to address the needs of the team. So with that being said, please strike upon the like button, share the link in your social media feed, and here we go in this version of the call. All right, as we get going and sharing the screen right now, you're looking at Zach Strief leaves WWL Radio to join Saints coaching staff as an assistant coach right there, which is a good move for Zach Strief. Zach Strief is one of the more intelligent people in the business. Now, listen, this is a good career move for Zach Strief, to be honest with your family, because Zach Strief, if you transition from being an offensive lineman to talking about the game like Zach did on the radio, for a couple of years, and he replaced Henderson, who was one of the best at doing that, which was a big thing in its own right. But if you can communicate the game on radio to people and explain it, you'll do a hell of a job when it comes down to actually being a coach on the field to talk to guys. And Zach Strief is a guy that helped the Saints win the Super Bowl. He's one of the most well-respected offensive linemen that's out there. And listen, Zach Strief got it from the ground up. He was a low pick that worked his way up and replaced Stinchcomb, who was just, to me, Stinchcomb just didn't have it anymore. And Zach Strief was able to come along. He was athletic at first. Of course, over time, he started dealing with injuries that slowed him down, and it became basically a vending machine with rollerblades on his leg. You ever push the vending machine with rollerblades on it? It's quite easy to move, trust me. But or any big ass vending machine with wheels, you can just push it whatever you want to. But that's pretty much when he became in toward the back end of his career. But this is a good move for Zach Strief. All right, let's get into it and let's break it down and see what's going on with this one here. There'll be a familiar face on the sidelines in 2021. This one's coming from Saints Wire. New Orleans Saints right tackle Zach Strief, who retired following the 2017 season to begin a career as a play-by-play announcer on WWL radio coverage of the Saints games on Friday. Strief announced his departure from the booth and returned to the field, where he'll take a position as an assistant offensive line coach, which I think is a pretty good move for Zach Strief, to be honest with you. He can always go back to the booth if need be. Saints lifer Strief was a part of the legendary 06 draft class as a 7th-round pick out of Northwestern and appeared in 168 games for the Saints during his 12-year playing career, including the playoffs. He's been spotted offering some pointers to players during the summer practices in recent years, so this move isn't too surprising. His passion for the game, wealth of knowledge, and experience as a former player could help him start things off on the right foot. It's actually a great move for Zach Strief, man. Strief will work closely with the Saints offensive line coach Dan Rouchard, who's developed a reputation one of NFL's best at his job, and I agree with that. Rouchard's previous assistant was Brendan Nugent, who Nick Underhill suggested could be a candidate to replace Campbell as the Saints tight ends coach. It's unclear just who would take on that play-by-play duties with WWL color commentary Deuce McAllister. He's the second new addition to the Saints coaching staff. We know of, along with the previous reporting, pickup of defensive back coach Chris Richard, replacing Aaron Glenn, who joined Campbell as the defensive coordinator. Saints head coach Sean Payton still has vacancies to fill after quarterbacks coach Joe Lombardi and defensive assistant Michael Wilholt joined the Chargers, so expect official word from the team in weeks ahead. Of course, you got a few positions that we got to fill up and get right, but a bit of a little insight right there saying that Richard previous assistant Brandon Nugent could become the tight ends coach. So that can promotion from within to solve that. And of course, Zach Strief replacing him there could be, but you still have a few other little moves to make here or there to do it. So, expect that to happen in the next couple of weeks moving ahead so congratulations to Zach Strief heading back home, man. He's a Saint lifetime, man. He's done some stuff, played on the team, 7-round draft pick, man. 7-round draft pick, came on the team, played his entire career with the Saints, went to become the commentary man on Saints radio, then bounced back to being an offensive assistant there. So he following his roots there, like a lot of people. So Zach Strief being very active and doing some good stuff there. So congratulations to one of my favorite Saints, man, Zach Strief. And like I said, the vending machine, that's what he was toward the back end of his career. But I affectionately call him that, man. But he was a good dude. All right, still is a good dude. But anyway, let's go on to the next one from also Saints Wire. Saints reports Saints to virtually interview big-time defensive prospect Levi. I hope I'm pronouncing this kid's name right. Onwazori Reich. Sheesh. Let me try one more time. If I don't get it this time, I'm going to say Levi O. Onwazorok. Onwazorik. That's the best I can do right there. But anyway, now this is kicked out here as Washington defensive lineman Levi O has a virtual meeting coming up with the Saints. Now O met with every team in person at the Senior Bowl, so his virtual schedule isn't as heavy as some of the other prospects at this time, but he has talent that is very high. And of course, this was reported early on. We covered this on the previous show. The Drafts Network's Justin Mello reported that New Orleans Saints are doubling back to speak to Washington Huskies draft prospect Levi O, one of the top defensive tackles in this year's class. Mello adds that every time we met with O at the Senior Bowl in January, so this would be New Orleans' second chat with the Huskies standout. So they have back-to-back chats with the guy. We'll see how it shakes, but the Saints are looking. This is the second time that you've seen back-to-back reports with the Saints looking at interior defensive linemen. Because, Sheldon Rankins is obviously not a candidate to come back, and the Saints could be looking at the fact that Malcolm Brown could be a guy that could be released. He would add some savings. So if you lose Sheldon Rankins and Malcolm Brown, then you could look at the Saints taking an interior lineman, and you're looking at two guys, North Carolina State's Aleem McNeil, and of course, this character here, Levi O, would be interested. Now, it's easy to see why they're interested. He's 6'3", 283, created 95 tackles, 47 of which from solo. He had 16 tackles for a loss and 34 games with Washington before opting out of his senior year to prepare for the 2021 NFL Draft. Where it's early and draft boards are taking shape across the league, he's a viable first-round prospect, as is North Carolina State Aleem McNeil, who Mello reported New Orleans Saints plan to interview as well. Now, big changes on the way for the Saints defensive line, so look at the high-profile options in the draft. Makes sense. Now, Sheldon's a free agent. Malcolm Brown could be a cap casualty. Rankin played the second most snaps among Saints defensive tackles last year with 472, while Brown played the third most at 390. If the Saints lose both players, they'll be left with David Onyemata, who would, another crazy number, 666, and a combination of Shai Tuttle, Malcolm Roach, Ryan Glasgow, and Jalen Dalton, who combined for 639 combined snaps under contract. Now, Onyemata is a force. That group has some promising youngsters, but adding a blue chip prospect like it would help build some confidence. He logged a career pressure rate 14.2 at Washington per Pro Football Focus. For context, Onyemata led the Saints defensive tackles with 7.3 pressure rate in 2020. So that kid doubled it up in college, which is impressive. So, the question, of course, would be then, if the Saints take a defensive interior lineman with that pick, would that be a bad pick? And just to address that, because I'm going to do a separate breakdown on this as well. I'm going to talk about this in another show. But, I don't think it'll be a bad look to take an interior lineman there. I can see the Saints at least addressing the defense, keeping that top rushing attack of that rank, that rushing stuffing defense, that run stuffing defense, keep adding to them as we move forward, keep building upon them, keep that defensive line strong, interiorly speaking. And then once you do that, that's half the battle, one dimensionalizing teams. But both prospects, I had a chance to look at tape of this guy. He's pretty good, but I actually like this McNeil kid a lot better. I like his play a little bit better. He's a bigger, more traditional nose tackle. This kid's more of a tweener type, but Aleem McNeil is a traditional nose tackle who does get pressure as well and is known to cause havoc in the backfield in college. So with that being said, that's the news notes on that, and we'll just keep watching as we're moving forward. So the Saints making some moves and doing some stuff. All right, let's transition into the money, baby. NFL Players Association says Saints roll over $4.1 million in unspent salary cap space in 2021. We also covered this. We covered this several weeks ago. We talked about the fact that Saints had that $4.1 million that they rolled over into the cap. And just updating you on it, NFL Players Association shared those numbers of unspent salary cap space. Each team is rolling over into the 2021-2020. New Orleans Saints will enjoy the benefits of that $4 million that they submitted back in January. Now, the accounting of the situation says that subject to the NFL audit, of course, they do that. As in case for every team, now they've been given the green light to add that to the buffer in their books. Now, with that $4 million, less than average of what the most teams are rolling into, but the average bit helps. The 2021 salary cap will be no less than 180. Remember, that was reported a few days ago that the NFL reported it, leaked it out in reports on NFL.com and other media outlets that the cap will be no lesser than 180 million, which runs against the 252 cap that the Saints have, which gives them a minus of 68.2 in the red for now. It's hardly ideal, but it beats the 72.3 overspending that limit, which is just, 4 million more, much less than 100 million the Saints started off in the projected cap. So 60 million. And if we did a show, I think it was the last show, I forget sometime, we do so many shows, but I think it was the last show that we did where we just went through and I used the tool to basically just break down to the family members and show them how difficult it was for me to get the Saints underneath, get them from up under and, from minus to a plus, and then from minus to zero, and from zero to a plus, meaning, getting to zero on your cap is one thing. Then going north of that zero is a whole nother thing. Meaning that when I use this tool, I had 19 transactions, several restructures, several releases of key personnel to breach that zero to get out of the minus. And then ultimately, a few more moves, I was able to free up a 15 to 20 plus $1 million in cap, working moves. But the team looked different. I had to basically restructure contracts of all of the stars, from Cam Jordan to Mike Thomas, Elvin Kamara, and so on and so forth, Demario Davis, and more. And then I also had to release people. I had to release guys like Malcolm Brown. I had to release Patrick Robinson. I had to release Latavius Murray. I had to release certain players that gave me a surplus that I couldn't restructure, but gave me more in the releasing than the restructuring, because they'll peer that. Now, could we restructure him and we restructure him here? Will it save us more money than if we just outright release them? They're going to weigh that. So I had to restructure. I had to release Emmanuel Sanders. The biggest one I had was releasing Emmanuel Sanders. They gave me like $5-6 million, off on the cap. So with that, with being said, there's some real difficult decisions that you're going to have to make to get from up under that, to get, back to zero again. And now, like I said, it's a lot of work to be done. It's going to be a very busy working type situation for Mickey Loomis and his assistants, because it was 19 plus transactions for me to do that and then free up enough money to still be able to go get cheap veterans and still have enough money to be able to make a key move or so, and be able to save enough money so you can be able to sign your draft picks as well as have extra money just in case something happens. You don't want to just spend all the money and just be sitting right there. You almost want to have that $3 to $4 million buffer. So if something was to happen with somebody on your team, you have money to be able to do something with it. You see what I'm saying? So with that being said, This is going to be interesting to watch this because I've never seen nothing like this. They're not in salary cap hell. They're in salary cap mega hell. That's where the Saints are. $60+ million, man. It's simply amazing. But to report the numbers to you guys so you can see, man, this is a different and special year, to be quite honest with you. So big ups to the family members, man. Thank y'all for being here. Randy Orton, what's up, Randy? Who that to you? Thank you for being in the building. Big ups to you. He says, what Randy's talking about. He says, still waiting for Drew Brees announcement. I know, Randy, me and you both and the rest of the Great Saint Think Tank are all doing the same thing, my friend, waiting to hear that announcement. And of course, Sean Payton's window was a week and a half is past. And if that's the case, we're supposed to should hear something from him, hopefully in the next week or so, so we can begin to move on. So, to get the future of the team set. All right. What's up, Roy? Roy Baker, who that to your family? Good to see you in the chat as well. Big ups to all the family members, man. Thank y'all for being here. Please hit the like button as well. All right. Mickey says, Q, you ought to get your boy on here that just beat Conor McGregor from Lafayette. He likes giving back. I bet he come on your show for a few minutes. Your boy that beat Conor McGregor from Lafayette. The guy, that guy's from down here. I didn't know that. You talk about the guy that slept him, bro. That he knocked Conor McGregor on his ass. I forgot the man's name. I didn't know that. I didn't know that, bro. I reach out to him. I mean, okay. I should have known that he was down here. He got that name, Poirier. I was cool with. I got good friends that's named Poirier. A lot of good, cool people that I know from the railroad have that name, Poirier. Yeah, that's interesting, man. I'm gonna have to do that, bro. We do Ring Kings boxing. I would love to do that. I was supposed to get in touch with Regis Prograde. He's from down. He's a serious fighter too. He's from New Orleans as well. So thank you for that, man. That'd be interesting, Mickey. I'll see about doing that. All right, Big Sean. What's up, fam? What's up, Sean? How you doing, fam? Good to see my dog Sean in the building. Randy, what's up, Randy? He said this will be an interesting off season as well. Yeah, and you're right. Yeah, that's interesting, bro. You're right, because $68 million, you got to come up under the cap. And that's what I be trying to explain to the family is that's interesting because you think about the last time you ever seen the Saints $60+ million underneath the cap. That's never happened before. You might have had some where you seen 30 million, something like that, but 60 million? And remember, when you do that, I keep cautioning the family members and telling them, listen, family, when you see a team at $68 million, that's over the cap, expect several restructurings and, of course, some releases to happen. I caution people to watch out for Emmanuel Sanders releasing, Malcolm Brown, Latavius Murray, Malcolm Jenkins. You could see guys like this, like, well, Q, why would you think about those guys? Because the reality is, you got Malcolm Jenkins and Emmanuel Sanders for the Super Bowl run. Well, you didn't get the Super Bowl. And the only reason you would stick with those guys as opposed to make a transition to cheaper, better wide receivers, not better wide receivers, but higher ceiling wide receivers like, say, Deontay Harris or a guy like Marquez Callaway, perhaps, is that, you say, okay, listen, it'll take a year or two for us we'll make the playoffs, but a year or two or so to get there. To be honest with you, and y'all know I don't never BS y'all. Really, truly honest, I do not see the Saints a Super Bowl team with either Taysom or Jameis. And the reason is because Taysom just doesn't have enough experience right now to do that. And based on the 4 games that he played, 2 of which the games he played well, 2 games he didn't, in my opinion. The Denver Broncos game was awful. We basically beat that team running on them. And they didn't have a quarterback. So, and then the Philadelphia game wasn't so bad, but he just couldn't make the play to win the game. If he made the play, we win the game. You see what I'm saying? And that's really tough because he's 31 years of age. It's his first time having a full start. I just don't have that confidence. Maybe a couple years underneath with Taysom, he learns the system in a full role. I just don't see Super Bowl with Taysom next year. I don't. Jameis, he didn't play football for a full year. He was backup for this year. So you're going to have to let Jameis come in and learn the game as well. So both of these guys, I believe, are talented enough to take you to the playoffs because overall you have a talented team. All you have to do is let these, kind of manage these guys and use the running game and the defense, and that'll be able to get you to the playoffs.
But in terms of the Super Bowl, that's a whole nother thing. You talking about Taysom Hill going against guys like Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs, going against guys like Russell Wilson in the playoffs. I'm talking about top NFC quarterback Stafford, because the Rams are going to be in the playoffs, going against Matt Stafford with the Rams in the playoffs. Do you think Taysom outdoes those guys for a deep playoff run? Tom Brady's going to be in there. So does Taysom beat those guys? Does Jameis beat those guys? Some people say yes, some people say no. I say they go to the playoffs. I just don't see them as a Super Bowl team with those two guys there. I'm just keeping it real. Now, what does it take to get to a Super Bowl with those guys? You're going to need multiple years. Not this year, maybe next year, the year after this year. If you want it this year, you're going to have to make a move to get a big name quarterback to bring in him, i.e. Aaron Rodgers, i.e. Guys like Russell Wilson. If the Saints were really serious about doing something, they'll be looking at guys like that. Now, what if they get a guy like Sam Darnold? Would you love that? I would love that too. Sam Darnold, big quarterback, big arm, is pretty accurate. He looked bad in the Jets system because the Jets were bad. They stunk, just like with Tampa Bay and Jameis Winston. Big young quarterback, probably won't have to give up too much. Remember what just happened with Carson Wentz recently. Carson Wentz got traded for a second and a third next year, a third for next year that could become a first, depending on certain statistical indicators or measurements are made where it could become a first. You see what I'm saying? So it was a smart a smart move by Philly to get him, because really truthful and honest, the guy has familiarity with Wentz, and Wentz has confidence playing with the coach of the Colts. And plus they have they got a fantastic young team. It's an indoor team. You don't have to worry about all the colds. They run the ball well. They got the defense playing. The Colts, look out for the Colts. I'm telling y'all. But anyway, enough of that QB talk stuff. We talking defensive ends. Let's get on down here, Q. All right, let's look at the defense. Now, this is what we're talking about, the ends position today, not the interior position, but mostly about the ends. Now, as you can see right here, this is the Saints' current thing right now. Of course, players in blue are players that's on the team. Guys in red are free agent guys that's not on the team, okay? Contract or up type guys. Now, as you can see, the left end position, Cam Jordan's right there. And, of course, you got Carl Granderson behind him right there. Now, if you go down to the next end position, you see Trey Hendrickson in red. He's a free agent. You got Davenport behind him, who's going to slide into your starting position. So your starting ends, left end, right end, Cameron Jordan and Marcus Davenport. Behind those guys, behind Cam is Carl Granderson, and behind Davenport is, you take your pick, Noah Spence, who didn't play all year last year, was on the injury list. He's kind of a tweener linebacker / defensive end guy. He kind of has a skill set similar to I guess I would say he's to Zach Bowen, but Bowen's bigger than he is. But he has a skim like a tweener set. He's a guy that play linebacker, but you can use him as end. But the guy's been banged up for years. You wouldn't have to count on him. So as you can see, me looking at the end position right now, you need some help there. Now, if you scroll on to the reserves, which are these are the practice squad players down here, and you can look at and see if you got any position. You got Marcus Willoughby, a practice squad player that they picked up from Baltimore. Don't count on him being a guy that's going to really influence the team. These are practice squad additions that have very little thinking that these guys have very little impact on the starting defensive end position, or even one that gathers or gains a lot of playing time. So if you look at the end position and you realize, okay, Cam and Davenport and Carl Granderson and nothing else, you're going to have to look at that position. Of course, you can say, well, they can slide Zach Bowen in there to play the position. I don't know about that. Depends. They might have a bigger role for Zach Bowen as a linebacker next to Demario Davis. It all depends on if they say we're going to go back and try to see if we can they're going to definitely release the hell out of Quan Alexander. Perhaps he comes back for a cheaper deal, but then again, you're dealing with an injured linebacker with an injury history that you can't count on. So Zach Bowen is going to have a major role in some capacity at the linebacker position. With that being said, you often see the Saints do slide Malcolm Roach. I see him play the end position, but he's still an undrafted guy with much experience. You want to have somebody there that's similar, like maybe a blue chip prospect that can help out. And perhaps you get a cheap veteran that you can bring in on a cheap deal to do that as well. But really, I see address it through the draft, because you got Cam Jordan is getting old. He's plus 30. And remember, he had 5.5 sacks this past season. He'd be like, well, he was double down. Well, what was his excuse the previous year when he was double-digit sackage? He was double that year. So you got to some way, in some form, start looking at Cam's getting old. He's getting old. And Davenport, who we gave up 2 first-round draft picks going on 4 years ago, because this is his 4th year, who hadn't given you a full season. You need to see about drafting a prospect there, a blue chip prospect, if not with the 1st round pick, at least the 2nd round pick, that can come in and provide depth and learn the position behind Davenport, and could be a person that can get, that can help out in the NASCAR packages, and also could be somebody that can eventually be a replacement option when Cam leaves, or at the very least be a guy that at least fills in for Davenport. So pretty much that draft pick will become Trey Hendrickson. You see what I'm saying? He'll become a Trey Hendrickson. And of course, I'm not saying re-up with Trey Hendrickson. He done priced himself out of your market. You're not going to be able to afford Trey Hendrickson. Let's just look at it like that. It's not going to happen. Sheldon Rankins, Trey Hendrickson, those guys are going to be priced out of your market. They're gone. So the end position is showing you that your only options behind Cam, or older Cam, and an injury-prone Davenport is Carl Granderson, who is good but still very far off from getting an extended amount of playing time. He still tends to overplay and over-pursue the quarterback. When he's blitzing, they just push him around like he walking through a turnstile. When you're blitzing, it's gap discipline. Where if you're going to blitz, you got to stay within a certain area where you don't allow the quarterback to sneak out from a place that you vacated from. That's what Russell Wilson would do you. And I've seen him on tape do that far too often. So Carl Granderson, undrafted guy, working, he's getting better, but I still say he's not the answer yet. You need another player there. Anyway, that's the look at the defensive ends. Okay, family. So we have established that Cam is getting old and Davenport is often injured. Hadn't give you a full season yet going into year 4. Carl Granderson is still very much developing. He's taking leaps and bounds. He's still not there yet. And behind him, you got this guy, Noah Spence, who is a free agent, but he's more hurt than Quan Alexander. This guy gets more hurt than Quan Alexander. That's how banged up he is. So with that being said, that's why I have the mindset that I do when we go into it. Now, we're going to go into the free agency first and look at what defensive ends are available for the Saints. And do you address it through from the free agent perspectives? So here we go. This is Sport Track. My sources, just citing sources. 2021 free agency. All right. For the Saints, if you look at, these are the free agents that'll be available and on the order of the draft. Of the free agency period. So looking at that, you see J.J. Watt sitting up top of that. He's just coming off a $16.6 million contract with the Tennessee Texans. Do you see him playing for a little bit more? Probably a little bit more, but not still in the range of the Saints. So from a monetary standpoint, J.J. Watt doesn't sound right for the Saints. And besides, they'll have teams that'll be throwing some money at J.J. Watt to get him to come play for them. I think he's priced out of the Saints ball game as well. And listen, if you can't afford Trey Hendrickson, you most certainly cannot afford J.J. Watt. Thank you, Big Sean. Appreciate Big Sean. Thank you, bro, for becoming a pro star. Much love, fam. Thank you for that. All right, and let's keep going, bro. That is one of the things that I recognize, man, is that people say, Q, what about J.J. Watt? Well, bro, commonsensically speaking, if you can't afford Trey Hendrickson, there is no way you're going to be able to afford J.J. Watt, right? So with that being said, who's the next guy there? Leonard Williams, another guy. The Giants the inside baseball is that the Giants are planning on franchise tagging Leonard Williams, and why wouldn't they? This guy was a beast last year for the Giants. They were stinky. They almost could have won it. They just didn't have enough. But he's 27 years of age. He had 57 tackles. He had 12 sacks last year. He hit the quarterback 30 times. Leonard Williams is a wildebeest. I remember the Saints were interested in trading to get Williams several years ago. They were willing to offer 2 first-round draft picks to get Leonard Williams. And whatever reason, Sean Payton just went away from it. He just lost interest in it. Y'all remember that? I do. All right, so Jamie, who that to you, Jamie? Good to see you in the chat. Tuck Graff, what's up, Tuck Graff? Who that to you too, fam? And that was one of the things that I realized about. It's like, well, whatever. But he's $16 million too. And inside baseball, I was doing my research behind this player, and word on the street, family, is that the Giants are looking at a franchise tag in Leonard Williams and keep him there. Behind him, you got Jadeveon Clowney, who had a terrible year with the Tennessee Titans. Remember, we pursued him hard at the start of the year before. Trey Hendrickson showed us that he could stay healthy, and he balled out of control, made Jadeveon Clowney move an afterthought. He had 19 tackles, 0 interceptions last year for him. 0 sacks for him, and he got $13 million from the Titans. He was an absolute bust and got hurt again, so that actually worked out for the Saints. Then you got other guys like Justin Houston, 32 years old with the Colts. He had 8 sacks last year, 12 in a million. So these are double-digit guys. This is the kind of money Trey Hendrickson wants. You're going to look at getting this type of bread, like 12 or 10 plus $1 million. You can't, afford them. You see guys like Yannick Ngakoue, who's the 12 million barometer. Ryan Kerrigan, who I really like for the Saints in a short-term option, because he's a guy that all he does is get sacks. He played in 16 games last year, 397 snaps, pretty good. He had 6 sacks last year, 11.5 million. I don't see the Saints looking at him. Maybe a cheap veteran is what I'm looking at down the line, but if you're the Saints, man, half the mark of what you give up for a guy like him. Now you see Everson Griffin there. And, we were mad that the Saints didn't try to get Everson Griffin last year. Is he an option this year? He made $6 million is what his average is looking at. With between two teams that he left when he, what was he with, the first team? Dallas, then they traded him to Detroit. Between two teams, he still got 6 sacks and 14 QB hits. And he's 34 years of age with 527 snaps worth of production. Remember, Everson Griffin was used in a reserve capacity too. And there was a few games that he missed. So, with that being said, do you take a cheap veteran like Everson Griffin for $6 million or somewhere around that, or perhaps a Okafor, who the Saints had, who they really liked Alex Okafor? He's a free agent again. He's free of that contract with the the Kansas City Chiefs. He had 3 sacks last year and 16 tackles. Do you go after often injured Alex Okafor? I don't know. But if they do look at any defensive lineman, it's going to be $16 million and less. It's not going to be one of these other guys up here, Solomon Thomas, who I think San Francisco is going to try to sign back, and all these other guys. There's no way. But if you're looking at guys, it's Everson Griffin down. It's $6 million or less. You're not working with a lot of money. And then you look at a lot of these names here. Romeo Okwara, he's 26 years old. He had 10 sacks last year for the Detroit Lions. They might want to hold on to him. And then, of course, this guy is going to look to double his pay, go from $3.4 to $6.87 million a season. Do you give a young player like Romeo that, or Detroit holds on to him? You never can tell. But if you keep going down, you see a few more guys that look interesting. How about Takk McKinley? The former Atlanta Falcon, former Raider, made $2.5 million. Takk McKinley makes a good option. He's still very young, 26 years of age. He's been in the league for some time now. He was a former high pick, and you can keep him in the NFC South. You bring Takk McKinley to New Orleans, he makes a lot of sense. Now, of course, he won't play for 2.5. He probably won $4 million. But I would say that that's doable to get a quality defensive end who's 26 years of age, who has experience playing, has a high motor, and he's looking for the right situation. You can get a lot of value out of Takk McKinley. So, if you look at the rest of these moves and some of these other guys up and down this list, you can see some of these guys do make a lot of sense. You got Kerry Hyder from the San Francisco 49ers. This guy had 9 sacks last year, and he was $1.5 million. He's 30 years of age. Do you go after Kerry Hyder? Now, of course, looking at these guys at 1.5, 2.5, those guys are going to double their money, $3-4 million for a guy like Kerry Hyder. He got 9 sacks, so you're going to look to kind of say, I got 9 sacks. I deserve $5 million a year. You can look at that. Takk McKinley, Kerry Hyder. These are interesting options if you're the Saints looking at trying to improve upon adding a veteran defensive end, if you don't want to go the route of going to get a guy through the draft. If you want to save the draft picks on other moves, then you can go and address the need. But my favorites, and even DeMarcus Walker from Denver, who's 27 years of age, he had 5 sacks last year, $1.2 million. You see where I'm going right here? These are players in their late 20s that got experience. They're what I would call young veterans. Okay, Takk McKinley, 26 years old, young veteran. Kerry Hyder just turned 30, young veteran. DeMarcus Walker from Denver, 5 sacks this past season in 13 games with Denver, 27 years of age. If you look at the numbers behind a Walker, 1.2 last year, you can get him for maybe $3 million. $3 million a year, maybe a couple 2-year deal worth $6 to $7 million can get you a DeMarcus Walker, a quality. How about Takk McKinley? $4 or $5 million for a couple years for Takk McKinley, per year for McKinley. 2 years, $10 million. Maybe something like that for Takk McKinley, young guy that can come in, help out. How about Kerry Hyder? 9, almost 10 sacks last year. $1.5 million. You double him up, maybe get $4 or $5 million for $3 or $4 million a season for Kerry Hyder. Bring him in, plug him in as a third defensive end who can come in, who knows how to rush the passer, can help out. So there's options that I'm merely giving the family members. And of course, Romeo Akwara is another guy who's also, he had 10 sacks this past year, 3.4, looking at maybe 5 or 6 million per season for him. You know, Everson Griffin is a guy that you can get for next to nothing. But if you're looking to have a young veteran there that you don't have to draft, these guys are options. But the only problem is we see that, so do these other teams. So you'll see a lot of these type of players go before you see the big names fall. That's how it happens sometimes, because the big names take money to move them. These other guys, they'll move for what I just said. But, you know, we have to be astute enough to be able to go over there. But looking at J.J. Watt, Leonard Williams, and all these other guys, and Yannick Ngakoue, Kerrigan, and all these guys, Solomon Thomas, no. Those guys will be priced out of your existence. If you can't afford Trey Henderson, you can't afford J.J. Watt, you can't afford Leonard Williams, you can't afford Yannick Ngakoue, and all these other guys. You just can't do it. So, you know, I just gave some bargain basement guys for the family members to check out. Big Low, what's up, fam? Good to see you, bro. Good to see you, my dog. Big Low Country in the building. Our resident Atlanta Saints family member. Much love and big ups to my dog, Big Low. What's up, fam? All right, so with that being said, fam, now I'm just merely offering. I'm not trying to be Scrooge McDuck, you know, in terms of pinching pennies and everything. But I'm just saying, when you're $60+ million over the cap, you have to consider these things. You have to say, okay, let's get somebody here that can help us over the next 2 or 3 seasons, that can grow with the defense. And I gave you young veterans that you can sign between $3 to $5 million a year and get these guys on the team with their experience. And they were very productive in this past season, which means they can produce for you on your team for this upcoming season. So it helps the curve. These guys have already had a rookie curve. You don't have to worry about that. They're players that you can count on because they got game experience, is what I'm saying. So with that saying, now let's transition and move to the other round of it, where we talk about, okay, now that we know that we looked at who we're not going to have. This is from CBS Resources, the prospect rankings. As you can see with CBS, they're showing you the top edge rushers that'll be available when the Saints pick. Now, these guys will probably be around 3 or 4 rounds or what have you, but these are some of the best that's out there. And according to CBS, they got Gregory Rousseau from Miami, the Hurricanes. He's an edge rusher. He's 6'7", 265 pounds. He is listed on many draft boards as the top pass rusher out of Florida. There's guys like Patrick Jones, the second for Pittsburgh. Hamilcar Rashid Jr. is there as well. And they got a few of these guys that's on the board right here, like Carlos Basham from Wake Forest. And these guys are listed as some of the best edge rushers that are available. If you take a look at a guy, and they ain't got all these statistics on these guys, right? We can make a big comparison. But these are some of the guys that you're looking at. Now, truth be told, Rousseau might be off the board when the Saints pick. He'll be the first pass rusher. They're thinking Gregory Rousseau could be a top 5 guy. You know, and that could be gone. So he probably won't be on the board. But Patrick Jones, the second, and the rest of these guys could be on the board when the Saints pick at the first round. But do you go after a guy like that in the first round, or do you get you pass rush in the second round? I often said coming into this that the mindset of the black and gold coming into this thing, and let me go ahead on and switch teams. But the mindset of the black and gold coming into this thing, family, is when you're at the 28th draft pick, is to take the available player, the best player available. That's pretty much the overall mindset when you're a team picking that far back in the draft, especially at 28. So that means if you got guys that fall to you, listen, if Terrence Marshall Jr. falls to you at 28th pick, you got to take him. You know, you've got to take Terrence Marshall. He's a wide receiver at LSU, and I'm not saying it because he's an LSU guy. But what I'm saying is, you know, you got to look at the fact that this team here is a team that we know look, first of all, let me see if I can just pull up here, right? Give me a second here. Let me pull up but when you get a guy like Terrace Marshall Jr., he's 6'4", 200+ pounds. Hold on here. Let me shut these guys up. All right. So when you get a guy like Terrace Marshall Jr. on your team, and he could very well be there. He's 6'4", 200 pounds. You know, you look at what he did in 7 games with LSU. He had 48 catches last year for 738 yards, averaged 15 yards per catch and 10 touchdowns. Now, he played 7 games. He called it quits early. And last year, he got 40+ catches when Jamar Chase and George Jefferson was playing in that prolific LSU offense led by the great Joe Burrow. So with that being said, this guy is ready for the big time. He's a huge weapon. He's a high 40 time. when you get a guy like this, he's the perfect complement to Mike Thomas. You take this type of guy. You take him. But that's the mentality of what the Saints are going to use going ahead. So whether it's Terrace Marshall, and then, of course, people keep telling me, Q, what about the quarterback? Well, I can show you mock drafts that show you that Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, and Mac Jones all are going to be gone in the top 20 picks before the Saints get to 28. Remember, you're at 28th. So if you want a quarterback, you're more than likely going to have to move up to get him, or a guy like Mac Jones, they're saying could fall to you at 28. A lot of the people, as they get closer and closer to the draft, a lot of people want quarterbacks. Even veteran teams that have quarterbacks, they want to draft a successor, like Atlanta. Atlanta looking at, you can ask Big Low, Atlanta's looking at Bates as Justin Fields is a possible candidate to replace Matty Icy Hot next year, not this year here, but the year after, as an heir apparent. So you can see they're trying to get their ducks in a row. Trey Lance is another guy. Mac Jones is another guy. Saints talk to Mac Jones. They also talk to Jamie Newman, who's probably be more of a real option here. But a really guy they overlooking here is Kyle Trask. Now, he's not as athletic as Mac Jones or any of these other guys, but Kyle Trask is a big quarterback, big arm, really intelligent. He got the it factor, he's just not athletically gifted. Kind of reminded me of a Matty Ice type quarterback, to be honest with you, when he came out of Boston College. That's who Kyle Trask kind of reminds me of, but he's a little bit more athletic than Matty Ice, just a little bit. Not much, but a little bit. So, and the Saints haven't talked to that guy. They talked to this Newman character. They talked to Mac Jones. But 28th, man, it's going to be hard to look at that. And like I told you before, the defensive end position is what we're focusing on, and that could be an edge, an area the Saints definitely have to address. We're going to most certainly have to address that. We don't have any guys on the practice squad right now that'll be effective. And then, of course, you don't have enough money to go after the top end guys. And like I just showed you, you're going to have to bargain basement for guys. And they got some quality there. You just got to get to those guys. And, of course, in the draft, you can pick up guys in the draft and bring them in to help you out as well. And we'll see how that shakes. So the edge rush position, as you guys can see, this is something that we definitely need to pay attention to. Once again, for those who might have missed it, I'm going to show you again. Cam Jordan is the best end that you have currently. He's getting older. He's up in age right here. Like I keep showing y'all, Cam Jordan had, 5.5 sacks this past year. The previous year, he was in double digits. He's getting older. So you want to be able to at least bring a young veteran in, like I showed you, in the next round, or be able to draft somebody that can come in and help you. To be honest with you, Cam's 31 years of age. He's going into his 11th season in the NFL. And like I said, Cam is special. But, man, let me tell you something. You know, you damn sure gonna need to look at getting some help, man, to be honest with you, man. He's getting old. He's getting up there. Okay, so with that being said, you got Davenport here. Like I said, Davenport, and going into his 4th year, hasn't given you a full year yet. Injury prone, injury history is a concern. That's who you have. And then you look at guys like Carl Granderson there. And Carl Granderson is another fellow that has potential, but he's not there yet. You know what I'm saying? Carl Granderson has promise, bro. But the reality is, I'm not totally confident in Carl Granderson right now. He needs a little bit more space. He tends to over pursue the passer. He'll go right around him like a turnstile, as opposed to rush him directly and maintain that blitz lane when you're blitzing, to be able to contain when you're blitzing so they don't escape out around you. You can get them when he try to peek from out there. He has issues struggling with that. He still has to get stronger. He still got to pack on a little bit of weight. He's not there yet. So I don't want to thrust that on him. So pretty much what you're going to be looking for is a guy that replaces Trey Hendrickson. That's a young veteran, or perhaps a guy in the draft. That's what we're looking at. And of course, like I said, I showed the family members the possible guys that we can look at that's in that price range that you can get. You can get a Romeo Quara. You can get a Tack McKinley. You can get a Kerry Hyder. You can get a DeMarcus Walker. These guys can help. Hell, you can even get a Jabal Shurd. We've been saying to go get Jabal Shurd all last year. You know, we didn't make a move on it, but Trey Hendrickson stepped up and did his thing. So, you know, we looking at that. And of course, like I said, we just addressed it through the draft. We'll see if you never have too many pass rushers, can never. So let's go over the basic stories again. We covered Zach Strief leaves WWL Radio to join the Saints coaching staff as an assistant there, helping the offensive lineman. Congratulations to him. Report that the Saints virtually interviewed big-time defensive tackle prospect Levi O. And this is the second one that they did. They also were dealing with North Carolina State's Aleem McNeil, who's a nose tackle, which means if this, you know, when you keep looking at defensive tackle prospects, that means one thing, that you're dealing with replacing Sheldon Rankins, who obviously they're not going to sign back because they can't afford him. He's going to be priced out of their arena. And also you look at Malcolm Brown, who's our only true nose tackle that he could be a cap release, a cap cost, or a guy that they release. So that's why you look at guys like these to kind of steady the interior defensive line. Wouldn't be a bad pick to put on defense. Let's get that defense together, man. I'm more so concerned with adding those prospects to the defense than I am offensively speaking. I just think that if we can take care of business at the quarterback position and solidify that, whatever it may be, we need to focus on the defense, especially the secondary for the Saints need help. Marcus Williams is not going to be there. Now, that throw a caveat in that family. They could franchise tag these guys. They can very well franchise tag a guy like Trey Hendrickson. They can. And there are words on the street that because of the C-19 cap situation that occurred, a lot of teams are going to use that tag more than it's ever been done before to retain top-notch talent. Case in point, Denver's going to use it on Justin Simmons, who that's my favorite safety. It'll be a dream came true if the Saints were able to get Justin Simmons from the Broncos. I would absolutely love that. Other players that can be franchise tagged, the Dak Prescott in Dallas. If they don't see any options that they like, they could franchise tag him again. And there's other players around the league that could be, tag people, no doubt about it. So in a way to retain their talent as opposed to become weakened by the loss of it. So the Saints could use these tags. They could use the tag on a Trey Hendrickson. That is also a possibility. Let's not throw that off the table. That is definitely on the table. If they can't address the defensive end position, they most certainly will tag guys that they can't replace. If they feel like they can't replace them, that's we're gonna leave that on there, and we'll see how that shakes. So I might not be in agreement with losing a guy like Trey Hendrickson. If I could find a cheaper replacement, I could slide that money elsewhere or put a draft pick there to build toward the future. But if you're looking at Marcus Williams, the Saints they're in love with him enough to tag him and pay him $10+ million a year in a tag. I could see that happening. The Saints would be able to do that as opposed to just drafting a cheap safety like Morick, who could be a better safety than Marcus Williams could ever be. So we'll see how that shakes moving forward. So also we covered the Saints roll at $4.1 million over. We covered this several shows back, but just to hit you with it, we went over the depth chart and broke down why we feel the defensive end position is a position of need. We also went into free agency and showed you the free agents that are available around our price range. We also went into the draft. So we are very thorough here on the Sports Coma, aren't we, family? If one thing they can't say that Q don't use teaching aids. I use the piss out some teaching aids. I ain't gonna tell you no different here. They call me Coach Q. That's right, Coach Q is in the building. So with that being said, family, listen, man, that's almost 60 minutes of the show. And really, I wanted to come at you guys for 60 minutes. We heading into 1 o'clock, and I really didn't want to keep you guys late on this Friday. I wanted to do a show and just go over the defensive end prospects. But I will now use the summation of the rest of the show to kind of go over your comments as well. So if you got any comments or concerns, drop them in the chat. I'll go over a handful of them right now. And don't feel bad. Tomorrow, I'll be back on a special Saturday show. We're doing 2 shows tomorrow, special Saturday streams tomorrow. We're going to do a Saints stream for a couple hours, and we're going to do a Pelican stream later on that nighttime. So we'll open up the lines of communication for people who want to comment, concerns, whatever it is. We're going to have an opportunity tomorrow on our Saturday stream, or rather yet later today, because it's already tomorrow, right? All right, big ups to the rest of the family members in this thing. Wolfgang, what's up, fam? He said, look, Wolfgang, who that to you? Said, I think we should bring in Sam Ehlinger. You know what, Wolfgang, bro, you right on the money, man. And I've often said, I've talked about Ehlinger from Texas. That guy is a player. I don't know why they're not talking about Ehlinger. I like him more than Kellen Mond. To me, Kellen Mond ain't no quarterback to me from Texas A&M. And not because he beat my LSU Tigers and they cheated for him that year. And then, of course, they won what was it, this year? Wasn't it this year? I forget. But we tore him up last year. Year before last, our championship year. But anyway, you're right. You're absolutely right. Ehlinger, when we started that year off against Texas, when we was on when LSU was on its championship year, Ehlinger and Burrow, man, those guys were dueling in that game. And I remember watching Ehlinger. I said, that guy is something to watch out for. And Ehlinger, man, you absolutely right, Wolfgang. You're right. Wolfgang says he's a leader. Man, listen, you are 100% right. I don't know why they're not talking about Sam Ehlinger, bro. But the reality is that he's a fantastic quarterback. And I don't know what he got the height. He moves around. He got the it factor. He got the arm. He's exciting. I don't know what the problem is, man. Maybe they're trying to save him or not talk about him, bro, so they can draft him low. But Sean Payton need to go out there and scout Ellinger, man. He is a player, and he'll be available if you want to take a quarterback and below the second, maybe a third round selection for the quarterback. There wouldn't be nothing wrong with that. He'll probably be available if nobody don't spot him. But yeah, Ellinger is a player, man. He's special, man. I don't know why they're not talking about him, bro. Maybe he ain't paid. You know what it is? He ain't pay. His agent didn't pay Mel Kiper Jr. and Scott Mache to elevate him on the board. You know they do that. Slick back here, Mel Kiper got caught doing that, taking money to elevate players on his draft board because he has the NFL people watching it. That's pretty. I don't think that's illegal. But that's pretty sneaky by old Mel Kiper to get that paper. So I ain't mad at old Mel Kiper. All right, let's keep it going, man. Tyree said Falcons need a defense, but Justin Fields going to be a good. Yeah, Fields is, yeah. Big Low said ATL is trading down. All right, thank you, Big Low. All right, Mickey Top said Jeff Ireland's going to find a diamond in the record defensive end in the free agency market after the draft. You know that. All right, thank you for that. Kevin says, GM Kev says Carl Granderson doesn't know how to contain the gap. He leaves big hole. Yeah, he's a turnstile, bro. He hit that offensive lineman, and that lineman push him around the quarterback like he creating a half a moon or something. He go right around him. Quarterback said, okay, well, shit, I'm taking off. And that's what he do. Roy says Saints going shopping at Goodwill. Bro, we ain't got a lot of money, so, but you never know with the Saints, though, bro. You never know. Iceman, what's up, Iceman? Good to see you. And Trey said Drew still not retired. Not official yet, bro, but the smart money says that Drew retires. Brian says we have to look you guys for a cheap price that we can sign that we think can help us out for right now so we get more money to sign more players. That's right. We got to be a little bit economical in these times. All right. Tyree said we need a linebacker in the first round. A lot of people don't believe in Zach Bourne. The Saints took Zach Bourne last year in the draft. A lot of people don't believe in Zach Bourne, do they? I don't know if the Saints take a linebacker again. You spend most of the time in a two linebacker set. If you draft a linebacker with the first round draft pick, that makes sure he paid. What you do with Zach Bourne? Well, turn him into a defensive end. Nah, Zach Bourne ain't no defensive end, bro. He light in the ass. You be putting yourself back. That's why I don't think the Saints do that, man. And plus, taking a first round draft pick linebacker means Sean Payton made a mistake. You just paid Demario Davis 3 years. You gave him a 3-year extension, so he's here for 3 years. Zach Bourne is the guy that he kept telling you last year when he picked him that he had a vision for him, playing inside and outside, being next to Demario Davis. You got Quan Alexander there, who could take a cheap deal. So I don't know if the Saints do that. It'd be more feasible, in my opinion. You could be right, but it could be more feasible that the Saints cut. They're going to definitely cut Quan Alexander because they're not going to pay him $13 million, whatever it is. And they're going to save that big chunk of change they save and release him and then come back at him with a cheap 1-year prove-it deal that'll be safe for the team. But he'll give you depth. But will he be a guy you can count on? That's a question to it. But Zach Bourne, sooner or later, is going to have to learn the position. You draft a first-round linebacker there, I just don't see that happening. All right, thank you for that, bro. Randy says, if we drop Marcus Williams, we could pick up Keanu Neal from Atlanta. Like Keanu Neal, that's a good call, Randy. The only problem with him, bro, is that he gets injured, boy. But he's a hitter, though. He's a hitter, but he stays injured. That's the problem with Keanu Neal. Big Country can give us the scouting report on him. Big Low can give us the scouting report on Keanu Neal, man. The dude he's a hitter, bro, but he just can't stay healthy. That's why we'll kind of stay away from him, bro. But I do like him, bro. I just don't know if he can handle hold up. You know what I'm saying? But I do like him, bro. Look, Tramal said he has two ACL tears. He's injury. Yeah, that. Mickey says, "Q, you doing the PowerPoints, big dog?" I'm doing PowerPoints. Well, bro, I got to show the family members, man. That's how you do it, bro. You got to show them. You can't just sit up here and talk at them for 2 hours. I got to show y'all, listen, family, this is what I'm looking at. You go to depth chart. This is the money. And then I didn't, move that to showing them who the free agents are. Because I'm not going to count on you guys remembering who y'all guys busy Y'all got a lot of stuff going on in life. I just can't y'all know who the free agents are, huh? Yeah, Q, we know. No. I'm going to show everybody the list and go down and show them the price. Not only the free agents that's available, but the money that they made the previous year so that you can use that as a comparative option to show you what they're going to be looking for going forward. Most of them not going to be looking to take cuts in pay. They're going to be looking to cash out. So you see guys that's making $2 million going to be looking to try to make $4 million or better. They're going to want to double up their money, especially if they were productive. So it's good to use those teaching aids and resources to show the family member. It helps prove the point. You know what I mean? Thank you for that, Mickey. Appreciate you, bro. All right, Mickey also say I like the decision Jackson. He could take the top off the defense for us. Kind of injury prone too, Deshaun Jackson. Kind of injury prone, and wouldn't it be smarter just to restructure a guy like Emmanuel Sanders if that's the case? I don't know if I want Deshaun Jackson down here. He's definitely a player, bro, but I just don't know. Miss Ceci Blacksmith says Cam better turn it up like he does in the wardrobe and jokes, he'll be straight. Okay, thank you. That's Miss Sexy Blacksmith. Thank you, baby. All right, let's keep going there. Brian says we have to look. Okay, no, I already read that one. All right, let's keep it going. Ramsey, what's up, Ramsey? Hey, Q, what about that linebacker Collins from Tulsa? Really good player. I don't know if he'll be there. There was a couple of mocks I was looking. That him is between him and I don't know Nick Bolton. I wouldn't say Nick Bolton, but I know Xavier Collins is your boy. What's his name from Penn State? Parsons, Nika Parsons, I think his name is. From the Penn State linebacker is called. He's listed as the top linebacker. Parsons, I think his name is. He's listed as the top linebacker. Hell, I don't have to guess. I just look at my whatchamacallit here. Let me get it straight. I'm going off of memory, family, so please forgive me if I'm. Yeah, Minka Parsons, okay, from Penn State, 6'3", 245. He's listed as the first one. They saying he could be a top 10 guy. He listed as the 5th best player in the upcoming draft. And then you got Xavier Collins out of Tulsa. He's a big deal. Now, people will say Q, Sean Payton drafts Xavier Collins, and then the thing about it, say I like Xavier Collins. They say Ramsey says I like Xavier Collins. A lot of people told me that. GM Kev said the same thing. I said, why would you take a linebacker? Well, Xavier Collins is 6'4", 260 pounds. So if anything, and I don't like attaching hybrid terms to defensive end because, man, that's a garbage bull crap term that gets you excited. And very few people make that transition. He played linebacker. He's a 6'4", 260-pound linebacker, man, that you could transition into a defensive end. So whether you do that or not, I don't know. But Nick Bolton from Missouri is another guy. Then you got the guy out of Notre Dame, Koromoa, whatever his name. I'm sorry, y'all, if I'm butchering these people's names, but you know. And there's a few other people. Dylan Moses from Alabama is also on the list as well. So, and Jabril Cox is there too, 6'4", 231, who a lot of people see like a linebacker safety prospect type of dude, got that type of speed, could be interesting. So most people say, well, if there's a linebacker picked, it'll more than likely be a guy like Xavier Collins. That fit what Sean Payton do. He'll draft that guy and then so we're going to use him at the DN position. That's what Sean Payton would do. He would take a Xavier Collins. He would. He did that last year with Cesar Ruiz. He took Cesar Ruiz, who's the second best center in the draft, in my opinion, and turned him into a guard that got Drew Brees hurt. Now, he'll switch back to center this year and have to learn the position again. But Sean Payton got a history of taking players out of position and talk about playing them over this and that and the third. So if Xavier Collins fall to you at 28 and he like the second best linebacker in the draft, he's 6'4", 260, you know, I could see Sean Payton pulling the hammer on him, bro. Would I be mad? Man, listen, at least it's on the defensive side of the ball is what I can say. Wolfgang said Terrence Marshall is a beast. My old trainer is not his. Okay. Wolfgang said that's good marketing. Yeah, he is a beast though, bro. I mean, I can't. I watched Terrence Marshall Jr. play for LSU over the last couple of years. I'm an LSU guy. I covered him. He tore it up in the past year with the LSU Tigers over the last couple of seasons. He had 40+ catches. He had 40+ catches last year. I mean, this past season, 40+ catches. The year before that, multiple touchdowns. He had 10 touchdowns, and he quit. And they still had several games left to be played. So Terrence Marshall Jr. to me is a fantastic option. He can run that 40. He can run any route in the tree. He can catch the ball. He's 6'4". He would complement Mike Thomas well, and a big arm quarterback at the Saints. So I'm not really upset about them landing a guy like Terrace Marshall. Usually at the 28 pick, that's what you would do. All right, Mickey says, put Ellis on NQ. Okay, I got you. Wolfgang say Swearinger can be a starting. He's a free agent, bro. He can be a thing, but you would want to address that position, I would say, through the draft, bro. And listen, Malcolm Jenkins could very well be released. I hope they don't release him, but even though you might not release him this year, he definitely going to be released next year. The Saints not going to pay him that third year contract work. They're not. So if you're going to take a rookie safety, this would be the year to take it. They'll have two really good ones that's available, the guy out of TCU and Morrig, and the other young man from Oregon, who some people are saying are better than the guy from TCU. They'll be available there. Hopefully, they'll be probably Morrig might be gone. We'll see. But 28 is, do the Saints move up is the thing. I don't think so. I think they need every bit of them picks that they can handle. All right, Iceman says, I'm gonna be honest, it'll be hard watching the Bucs win that title, then put the billboard up. How do we compete with the next season? How many losses in the playoffs until we remove Sean coaching duties? There is no foreseen plan to remove Coach Payton from his duties as a offensive play caller. There is no plan in action. He is not presenting that. Unfortunately, the media apparatus that covers the Saints are not posing that question. Of course, Payton keeps himself on relatively an island. You have to pay him to get his opinion. I'm not paying Sean. I had my people come back and tell me about Sean Payton. I'm not paying Sean Payton shit to come on here. It's just, if you that hard to get to and you put yourself on an island like that, you ain't trying to hear nobody what they're trying to say. And that's even more reason why he need to be removed. But there ain't enough people like me or you to get people to understand that. There's too many Paytonites right now. It's not enough black and gold Saint people. It's too many Paytonites. It's too many people putting Payton above the team. And I keep telling people that Payton could quit tomorrow and go take a job with the Jets or go take a job with anybody and be playing against you. These people are agents. They play for anybody. They'll play for anybody. Name them. Any of your best players. If you piss them off, they won't be traded or they won't go somewhere else. They won't say, I ain't going to play for this team. Hell, if they'll go anywhere, but you ain't going to go nowhere, would you? You ain't going to take off your stripes and put nobody else's colors on, will you? You a diehard black and gold. Will they say that? Hell no, they ain't going to say that. They'll go wherever the money say. So how I'm going to put that type of, knowing how the game is and knowing how the game go, why would I then put somebody I know would do that above the team itself? Come on. That's my mentality. I'm not really blaming nobody else for thinking that way. I'm just trying to share with you guys, it's the team first and all else is second. Not player, not team and Payton first. It's team first, Payton second, along with the players. That's how it goes. His contract up in 3 years. He can leave out of here and go coach for somebody else for double the money. You don't think he will? I'm telling you, man, we give you the GM duties and the coach. Oh, well, hell, I ain't never had that before. They can't do me. Oh, man, hell, shit. Yeah, I mean, come on. I've been telling people there's not enough people that think like us to be able to put enough pressure on him to do that. It's not enough. That's why I keep saying, even if you don't think that you could be the problem, there has to be a thought in your mind that, hey, I might be the problem. We keep failing. And, maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I should just relinquish the play calling duties for 1 year. Let Carmichael, a guy that been with me for over 10 years, call the plays. Why not try that? He'll never relinquish that because he's a control freak. He's a guy that won't take instruction from nobody. He don't like his assistants to tell him nothing. I mean, listen, if you don't believe me, go talk to the media people. They tell you the same thing. Look at Matt Moscone on ESPN laying out how, and he called him an a-hole on ESPN, And I shouted out Matt Moscone, man. I shouted him out on LinkedIn. I follow him on LinkedIn. He follows me on LinkedIn. I shouted him out. I said, man, listen, man, that's what's up. That's what I'm talking about. It's not about ingratiating to these type of people. You give that to somebody that's going to give it back to you. You reciprocate that to people that deserve that. If you got some guy that's got his ears shut and he don't want to hear what you got to say, and he thinking it's like, I'm the man. I don't care what you say. Or like what he told the butcher, you just worry about cutting his meat better. And the butcher, a diehard Saints person. And you going to tell that man that he paying for season tickets and wearing hats and jerseys spending his time listening to the game for years, and you gonna tell that man that? Imagine how he felt when he walked out of there. Then you had people defending Peyton, the Peytonites, defending Peyton for talking to that man like that. And I got on him for that. I was like, man, Q, you hard. You the hardest dude on Peyton. You damn right I'm hard on him. Because I realized that he is a main part of the problem. And it's all, well, Q, don't piss him off. You're going to end up leaving. Well, if he get pissed off and he that temperamental, let him take his ass somewhere else. I mean, we are not the ugly person at the ball no more. We the belle of the ball. And there are tons of people out here, that smart people that'll come on here and win. I keep using the Green Bay Packers as an example because the Packers got rid of Mike Holmgren that took them to the Super Bowl. They got rid of, who's the second guy who coaches for McCarthy, came on that, took them to a Super Bowl. They got rid of both those guys and got Matt LaFleur, who had no coaching experience. LaFleur went up to Green Bay, and they've been 2 deep playoff runs, both time deeper than the Saints run. And matter of fact, LaFleur beat Peyton early this year. This is a guy that just got in the league 2 years ago. I mean, as a head coach, that is. He was a coordinator prior to that. But this is a man that is now, he had 2 deep playoff runs with the Packers. How do you explain that? Football people are here. There are football people around. Stop holding on to Peyton like he a porcelain figurine. Stop doing that, man. Come on. All right. Appreciate all the family members up in this joint, man. Listen, I'm going to have a few more comments and then we're going to dirk out, man, as well. So I appreciate y'all. Iceman says, does Tom winning the Super Bowl is a stain on Sean Payton legacy? No, I don't think Sean Payton stains his legacy by only winning 1 Super Bowl. The true belt. What's up, Troy? Who that to you, Troy Lambert? Much love, fam. Trey Joseph, who that to you too, fam. Big ups. Anthony, what's up, Anthony? Who that? No. I don't think it doesn't. Sean Payton winning 1 Super Bowl does not stain Tom Benson or Sean Payton's legacy. You know why? Because we won't let it stain his legacy. We won't let it do. We will hold on to that 2009 Super Bowl way in 3020. Be 1,000 years later, the Saints got 1. At least we got 1. We better than the Cleveland Browns. I mean, look, good Lord grief. Way in 3020. We here talk about 1 Super Bowl. I mean, listen, man, it's all about winning. And when it comes to that, I'm not going to sit here and talk about 1 team winning the Super Bowl and it's 32 teams and, only 1 team can win the Super Bowl. That was not your thinking starting the season. Your thinking was them people told you for the last 4 years the Super Bowl or bust. They went all out on a limb, Super Bowl or bust, and they failed. And nobody holding them to their standards. Where the standards? What are people that's pissed off holding them to their standards? Where they at? I mean, where they at? I mean, where are they at? If you got a job or you work for somebody, or even if you're in business and you got clients, let you don't hold up to your standards how many clients you start losing. It's only us that have to take every scrap that the man throw at us. He throw scraps at her and think you happy. He's up there smiling and laughing, and you lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 4 turnovers. Team wasn't prepared to play. 4 turnovers in the matchup. Lost by double digits to a team you beat twice by double digits. You tell me if any of that makes any sense. In your building, you had all the possible advantage that anybody could possibly have. You lose that, and a week later, there's some bitch up here smiling and laughing and shit. Now, and I'm up here pissed, and many of us pissed. But see, when you don't feel it, when you're comfortable and happy, and you got everybody shut up, why would I care about your pain? Even though you paying for the team, even though you the one that hold all of the emotional trauma of the team when they fail, even though the people make fun of you from other teams, make fun of your ass, when you continue to fail, you get all that, I get all that. I get it in the comment section. I get people make cuts of the video, send it to me, and LOL on there, or scold and all this kind of bullshit. I get all that. I guarantee he don't give a rat's ass. He don't give a rat's ass one way or the other. He the most comfortable man in the NFL. I've been telling y'all that. He the most, and not enough people upset like me. Not enough people upset like me yet. There's too many people still taking scraps off the table. Scraps off the table is dingy, dirty, dumb, garbage ass second round playoff ousting or wild card oustings in the playoffs. I mean, this is not enough people upset. We still thinking, well, we don't want to go back. We lose them. We're gonna have to put the brown bags on, Q. We got to put the. I mean, what is this Stockholm syndrome that we have? The brown bags is what made us a championship team. It's what drove the family base together to demand more from the team. How you run away from your pain? Your pain's supposed to empower you, so you become smarter and stronger and wiser. When do we become so stuck on one player? I mean, there are hundreds of great football minds out there. I mean, this is a big world with tons of really intelligent people. I mean, I'm going to leave it alone, man. I'm going to leave it alone. Good night, Tasha. Thank you. Big ups to you. What's that? All right, I'm going to go down a few more, then we're going to get up out of here. Tyrese says, Jack Rabbit, about 33 years old, playing cornerback. Wouldn't be mad if Saints go for a cornerback. I want us to grab Ashanti Samuels. He'd be a perfect fit. Him, Lattimore would be the best cornerback duos. Thank you for that, Tyrese. Appreciate you. All right. Anthony says, okay, it jumped on me. I'm sorry, Anthony. I was reading it in the jump. All right, he says, better him, a GM, than a predictable offensive coordinator calling predictable play. I know, Anthony. See, not enough people mad, bro. Not enough people mad. Wolfgang said Peyton Dam show up in big moments. Thank you, Wolfgang. Kevin says Parcells is on the record saying he and Peyton used to get into it on game day with all the passing plays. He would have 100 passing plays and players complaining about his playbook. Very complex. I remember Parcells' interview with him saying that. I remember that. But you can't get the rest of the Peytonites to get that. All right. Iceman says Loden was not an option for the Saints this season. Q for real. Right. Loden was not. All right. Anthony says, all right, don't start injured players. Play whoever you get, you win. Jameis to Deontay. Tramal says, did somebody say Peyton play calling was weird when he was with the Giants? Trey Joseph says, Sean, but I can't read that. I'm sorry. It just jumped on me. Hold on. Let me see. Iceman said the thing that kills me is that they seem to lack winning intangibles. Losing was not an option as plus for real, Q. Well, I mean, they lost, bro, and nobody upset except for you and the rest of the great Saint think tank. Doesn't that kind of set everybody on edge? I mean, it's commonsensically seen. Yeah, you know, Roy says, didn't Peyton tell KC how to beat Tampa Bay? He showed them how to beat Tampa Bay, bro. You're right, Roy. He showed them when we played them against Kansas City, we lost by 3 points. He showed the NFL how to beat them. He showed how to take the deep weapons away from them and everything. He showed how to beat them. He did. He couldn't beat them himself, but he gave you a blueprint. We lost the contest. Offensively speaking, we couldn't outscore them. We had too many stalled out drives. Remember, we punted 9 times in the game. Remember 9 punts in that game? You couldn't move the ball offensively. Predictable play calling. Can't say all of that. Until we get to the real and start talking about the real, we're going to keep having these issues. And once again, I asked the question like I asked the last several years after playoff losses is, what did we learn? Did we learn anything? And more importantly, what did he learn? He meaning the head coach. What did he learn from this playoff loss? It just keeps seeming like he's not learning nothing. It keeps seeming like you need to be more balanced. And he did run the ball more this year to his credit, and I appreciate him doing that. But when it comes down to it, we need to get the play calling out of his hands and give it to Carmichael. At least that way we get some accountability. At least that way he becomes a true head coach where he focuses on all 3 areas of his football team as opposed to sit up here communicating with the quarterback on what plays need to be happening. That's what the offensive coordinator's job is. You know, you're doing too much, and he a micromanager. He's not going to turn that loose. And it's a shame. Not even for a year to a guy that he picked as an OC for over 10 years. You're not going to turn it loose for the man to run it. I mean, we're going to see, bro. I keep doing this. All right, Tyrese sees people talking about MT run slants. His quarterback can't get the ball downfield. Let's see. Josh says, Big Q, what do you think about our record will be next season? I don't know, Josh. I don't know, bro. I say we're a playoff team, so at least 10 wins. To be more, specific, I'm probably going to have to look at the schedule down the line and, of course, see how free agency and the draft works to see how. But I say we're still a playoff team with the talent that we have, unless we don't cut down too far, cut to the bone too bad. I still say we're a playoff team with 10 wins. We do get into the playoffs, but outside of that, I don't think we're a Super Bowl team currently constructed. That's just my opinion on it. That's right. Miss Sexy Blacksmith said this stuff is deeper than just football. Yes, it always is. It always is. Always it starts up here. And like I keep saying, if you got an architect and he got a flaw in the design and he puts it into the contractual renderings and they start building that building, whatever flaw that he had in that design that's in that paperwork and that blueprint going in that building, unless somebody catches it. Remember that. He's the architect of the system. If he's the architect of the system, there's any flaws that's in here that he hadn't worked out, it's going to be in that game plan. And the problem is he's pass happy. And the big issue is if you're pass happy, that's fine. Nobody's perfect. My problem is that he has to give guys the ability to call him or pull his coattail when he's getting into the point where he's doing 15 straight passing plays like he did against Green Bay early this year. When he went 15 straight pass plays against Green Bay in that game. 15, go look it up. 15 straight pass. You ain't talking to somebody just talking out the back, they rear end here. You talking about a guy that studied the game and studied the Saints, that watched these games 7, 3, 4, 5 times over. Sean Payton does not allow people to pull his coattail, and that's the biggest criticism I have. Is that I'm not talking, you don't have to be perfect, but you have to be able to allow your assistants that's around you to pull your coattail and tell you when you're not doing what you're supposed to do. How are you above reproach? How are you telling these guys, you can't be told nothing? And that's a major problem, a major character flaw in Sean Payton that's going to keep him from winning more champions. You got to be allowed to be told stuff. You're not as smart and you're not as intelligent as you think you are. You're not as perfect as you think you are. And if you hired that team, they're supposed to be able to pull your coattail. That is the most supreme and greatest commentary or criticism or critique that I can give Payton. He does not let those guys pull his coattail. And even to this day, he refuses to relinquish the play calling duties and become a head coach and give Carmichael those play calling duties just to give the team accountability, just to be accountable. He refuses to do that. And then what's worse is that the media, when they see that, they do not pull his coattail either. Mackel asked him a question. He pulled his press pass. What small-minded or small petty-ass individual pulls a reporter press badge for asking questions? And he wasn't disrespecting him. He wasn't disrespecting his mama. He wasn't disrespecting. He asked him a tough question. He ain't like it. He had his press pass pulled. What kind of petty-ass dude is that? That's why I keep warning y'all about that guy. Keep telling y'all. Sooner or later, y'all gonna hear when but it might take a few years for some, but my goodness, man. I'm just keeping it real, man. It's the Saints first and everybody else second. That means coach, players, everybody. Why, Q? Because the coach can go to the Jets, the Dolphins, the Sea Chickens, the Vikings, the Dallas Cowboys, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They can go anywhere else. They're agents. Same with the players. Any one of these players can go somewhere else and turn around and come back here and hurt you in the game. You know? But you can't go nowhere. You ain't going to put on Seahawks jerseys and shit and become a Seahawk fan. You ain't going to do that. You know? And I'm just keeping it real. And people don't get that. All right. Thank y'all for this. And let's see. Payton don't trust Carmichael. That's what Jamal says. It's hard to see they don't trust Carmichael. That's his guy. Who knows the offense better than Carmichael and Payton except for Breeze? Carmichael knows that offense just as like Sean Payton does. He just is not that type of person to call Sean Payton out. You can see these guys are a little bit, they're a little bit cowardly here. Because if you challenge Payton, you can get ousted. Just what happened to the linebacker we had that came in from Philadelphia, that fantastic linebacker we had. He wanted more play time, and Payton cut the man without an explanation. It's just petty ass stuff that I noticed from Payton that I do not like, man. And nobody challenging him. But I know he don't like it. Word got back to me he don't like it. I don't give a goddamn. You can tell him that I don't give a damn if he like it or not. If you don't like, come on here and tell me why you don't give up the playbook. Scary ass. Iceman Sal said, Q, it makes the Saints look bad when we let a dude accomplish what we've been trying to do. And the man got there one goddamn year and took the Tampa Bay Buccaneers past the Saints. Say, you know what? Y'all can have them sucker ass, garbage ass, bull crap ass NFC South title banners or whatever that is. You can have that bull crap. They went right through the playoffs, 8 straight wins, knocked the Saints off, and they building by double digits into the Super Bowl, and then bam, bam, wham, bam, boom, Super Bowl, 1 year. So much for camaraderie, huh? Well, it is what it is. Trail, what's up, fam? Big ups to you. All right, Tyree said, well, people who that nation think Jameis going to get us to the Super Bowl. I don't see Nigel. There you go, Kevin. Nigel Bradham. That's right. But that's the reality, man, we're dealing with. People close their eyes to the facts. And listen, I understand you like somebody. I like Elvin Kamara. I like Mike Thomas. I like Cam Jordan. I like Drew Brees. I like all of these. I mean, I love these guys. I mean, I got love for all of these guys, Coach Payton included. But that does not stop me from keeping it real. Y'all often hear me when they do something, that hurts the team. I criticize them. I give constructive criticism. I called out Drew Brees when he do bad. I called out Elvin. Remember, who calls out Elvin Kamara harder than I do? I mean, come on, y'all tell me in the chat. Who calls out Elvin Kamara? Who pinpoints out that he be lying? Who pinpoint him out that he be? I call. Who keeps it realer than that? This is my squad. Who keeps it realer than that? That's real deal. I'm not going to, just because I got love for you don't mean I ain't going to give you constructive criticism and stick to the statistics and show you stuff would happen and this. It ain't just like coming out saying, this, that, and the third, or just hating on them. No, I give like constructive, pinpoint, specific criticisms that you can even research and find out and even go and look it up. Who calls out Alvin Kamara harder than I do? I mean, who calls out Peyton harder than I do? Nobody. I was pinpointing showing Alvin Kamara out here lying, talking about he was in the building. I was in the building. I don't know what he talking about. I was in the building. You weren't in that goddamn building. Who was calling him out then? Talking about he got an epidermal and all that. That's something a woman get. So you pregnant now? I know you can do a lot, but you can do that now? I mean, come on, bro. Come on. Who was calling him out? Who was calling him out when he did that stuff with the game, with the Christmas Day game? He went to the strip club. Who called him out then? I mean, man, come on, man. Come on. Who calls him out? Who calls Mike Thomas out when he out here twittering and cutting up? Who calls him out? Who calls out these guys when Cam Jordan? Who called Cam Jordan out and said that he was on some bullshit, but he was talking about getting 100 sacks and he ain't got 5.5 sacks on the season, talking about he don't want to move around on the offensive line because he won't stay clean. Who called him out on that? I mean, come on, man. I calls these dudes out. Now I got love for these guys. That's why I can call them out, because I want the best for the player, because I want the best for my team. I'm not going to sit up here and watch a bunch of dysfunction and not call it out and pretend like it don't exist. I'm not into playing games, family. I'm real deal Holyfield. That's how I live my life. I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it real. I ain't about no fake stuff. I'm about keeping it real and telling it like it is. That's how my grandpeople raised me. My mama keeps it real. My pops keep it real. My mama keeps it realer than I do. And that's just a part of me. I keeps it real deal Holyfield. Even if it don't matter, if I love you, I love you. But if you screwing up on the team, I'm going to call you out. I'm going to call you out. Who called out Jared Cook harder than I did before he started doing all that stuff? Who was calling him the 10 man? I called him the 10 man because he was out there running around stiff and looking scared. And who called him out? Who called him the 10 man? Who called out Alex Anzalone before anybody even was talking about that by Alex Anzalone? I was like, family, you see Alex Anzalone? And I said he was tiptoeing through the tulips. Remember that? Who calls these players out harder than I do? I mean, come on, man. That's keeping it real. I don't negotiate to nobody. I don't play that game with them people because I realize that they're not the power, and they know I say that. They are not the power. You are. You and me are. This is our team. This is our team. We were on this team before any of those players or coaches was on that team. You got squatters' rights, baby. You got squatters' rights. You was on this team before any of them was. So how I'm appreciating and backing down to a guy that just got here? Come on. Keep it real. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it a buck. Come on, man. That's how I see the game, man. I'm not going to be appreciating to no goddamn none of them, bro. Because listen, we the power. You get your money from us. We pay for your buildings. We pay the light bill, the water bill. We pay for, how we paying for parking when we used to be able to go to the games? You paying $25 to park in the building. Last time I checked, that goddamn parking facility was paid for over 30 years ago. Why you still charging me to park? And I can't get no games free even though we pay for the building and everything. You want to talk money now? Now we talking, TC, that's the perspective that I have, man, because people don't go at it like that. They don't understand that economics gives you the power. When you understand that you're not at the bottom of the pyramid, that you're actually at the top, then you understand where your power comes from. And too much time spent telling you that you ain't nothing but a person, you a fan, and that you at the bottom of the totem pole, and the players, the coaches, and the owners up here, even though they get their money from you. How you down here, you give them all their money, they sit up at the top? How that work? How that work? You think she paying her out their pocketbook? Where's she getting the money from to pay the players? They come from you. They come from you. It all comes from you and I, baby. So you put your money in there, you put your time in there. When they don't exceed, you butthurt for a whole damn half a year. You butthurt, madder than the coach. How you madder than the coach? That's the question. How are you madder than the coach and the coach smiling and shit? Yeah, yeah. You look like you doing what y'all in Miami right now. Yeah. How you madder than the coach is the big question. Huh? All right, then. All right. I'm going to cut it out. Big Q, cut it out. It's 1:30 in the morning. Stop ranting and raving. I've been told that I look unhinged. I was told by some family members, and the family member, I forgot the man. I forgot his name. If you're listening, man, throw yourself out in the chat, man. He said, man, you on YouTube, you look a bit unhinged. And I said, well, bro, I'm not unhinged. I'm pissed. That's what a pissed off man look like. That's tired of being told you Super Bowl a bust and then get spanked in the second round by a team you beat twice by double digits. You think I'm gonna sit here and be like that? I would be a fake cardboard CBS, NBC ass reporter if I stood up here and gave you the Saints news with that kind of bullshit. People like the sports coma because we keep it real, because we passionate. And even though we talking about football, you can go anywhere in the world and listen to somebody talk about football. The sports coma is unique and real because the passion, the energy, the insight that we bring to the Who Dat Nation is special. And a lot of people vibe with that. It's alive. It's alive, it's fun, it's entertaining, and it's cool. People sit here and listen to it for 3-4 hours straight. The sports coma is for real. The Great Saint Think Tank is for real. So I'll be damned if I turn into a CBS reporter. Today the Saints lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Tom Brady is the greatest coach, greatest quarterback of all. I mean, get the hell out of here, man. Reading off teleprompters all day. Get the hell out of here. I sit up here and talk about the Saints for 5, 6, I done did it before. Sit up here 7, 8 hours talking about the Saints and not reading a goddamn thing. All of it coming out of my head. And I might mispronounce a word or two because I'm human. But at the end of the day, you can never say that I'm short of passion or I don't know what the hell I'm talking about when it come down to this black and gold talk, baby. That's real deal Holyfield. So any one of them can come their ass up here and talk about it. Elton Kamara, any one of them. Y'all come up here. Y'all welcome. I don't keep you out. I ain't on no island. You can ask me questions 8 ways from Tuesday. Every time I get up on this some gun. And I answer the question. I ain't running from nobody question. But it's mighty strange how Peyton running for questions. He don't want you to ask him nothing and to get mad at the reporters for asking them lightweight questions. But I can't get certain people to see that. You know? I don't know, bro. I don't know. But anyway, I'm gonna cut it out. I'm gonna cut it out. Behave, Q. Behave. Behave, Q. I will behave. I'm sorry. I will behave. All right. So listen, family. I appreciate Kim. What's up, fam? Kim say on the sports coma. And thank you, Kim. Appreciate you. What's up, Elmo Duncan? Who that to you? Good to see you in the chat, fam. Appreciate you being here. All the great Saint Think Tank. What's up, Awesome Who that to you? Said Tom Brady would have beaten the Saints regardless if he had proper offseason of those 2 games, regardless would have been different. Well, we don't know. Well, all I can tell you is we beat the hell out of Tom Brady twice in the regular season. Wasn't even close. The playoffs, he returned the favor, and that one was for 2. That one loss paid you back for 2, which in the end was that. But let me ask you this question, Awesome. If Tom Brady was your quarterback, say Drew Brees retired like he was supposed to do it last year, and Peyton didn't beg him to come back, and Tom Brady would have took the job, would you have won the Super Bowl as a Saint? Would Tom Brady have won the Super Bowl as a Saint? Ask yourself that question. Ask yourself, answer that one for me. Jamal says Peyton real mad at you. Oh, he can be mad at me, bro. He can scratch his ass and get mad for all I want. Come on here and shut me out. Break it down for me. He never gonna come on here because he can't control the questions that I'm gonna answer before you. You gonna make some Saints history on this show. I tell you what, you put him in front of me and he asked the questions. And listen, I'm gonna hit him with every one that I got. And that's the ones the reporters don't want to ask. You don't want to ask. Don't want to ask because I'm coming historical and I'm keeping it real deal and there ain't no appreciation. There's some respect, but ain't no appreciation, man. That's different. That's different. Some respect. I respect, you respect, but let's get these answers. Let's get to the bottom of this right here. You know, and that's what it come down to. So he can get mad all he want. Stay mad. This is my damn team. I was here before he was. So you take your ass out somewhere. Also know if Tom Brady came to New Orleans, he would have not won a Super Bowl. I disagree, bro. I disagree. Tom Brady gets you a Super Bowl, he come to New Orleans, bro. I mean, Tampa Bay wasn't that. Well, our team was a lot deeper than them. The Saints, and a lot of the playoff failures on the fact that the Saints, that's what they do in the playoffs, they collapse. That's what we did in the playoff games, we collapsed. And you got to hang, people don't know what happened. It's always and forever and always will fall on the head of the coach. It's just a shame that we, and as a collective in the Who Dat Nation, can't hold people to standards that they set themselves. And when I call somebody else for setting standards and then not achieving the standards that they set, that you call me and tell me that I ain't supposed to be calling some bitch and telling him that you ain't holding up to the standards that you setting yourself, and then you making excuses for him that everybody in it, well, only one team can win. That's not the point. The point is he said Super Bowl or bust. Well, I guess he didn't lie, right? He did say he's Super Bowl or bust, and he didn't get the Super Bowl, and your ass got busted. But you damn sure are busted. So I guess he wasn't lying, though. Can't say that. Iceman says, man, if it's me or does it seem like the Saints always have a chance to put themselves in a favorable position like drafting Lamar, man? It's just, it's comical, man. We'll see what happens in the draft coming up. But real is real, man. You want the real truth or you want some bullshit WWL crap where they ingratiate to the people and they're going to keep playing games year after year. You want the real deal? Why you're not winning? Or you want me to play around with you and tell you some scripted nonsense that they're doing because they're getting paid from the team? I'm not getting one damn dollar from the Saints, to keep it real. But I can tell you one thing, I pump all kind of money into the Saints, whether it's buying the merchandise or when I was buying tickets to go down to the game, whether I'm doing Pelican stuff, one way or the other, they're getting the money. They're getting the money. Even when you watch the game, you're supporting the team because they're getting money or they're getting cut of that money from that anyway. For every tax dollar that come out your paycheck or from your business goes to upholding those stadiums, you know? So whether you want to admit to it or not, you want the real deal or not. If you don't want the real deal, go put somebody else on. Shit, I ain't got time. If you don't want somebody to lie to you and tell you some fanciful nonsense, go find somebody. I ain't got no time. It's too late in the game for that bullshit, man. Come on. It's truth time all across the world, fam. Come on now. Don't you really want to know what's going on all over the place? Not just in sports, but everywhere? I ain't got time to play games, fam. I'm sorry. Mickey says, Q, you think Big Mike gave up this year? DJ Big Mike gave up on us this year. Mike Thomas, you mean, bro? You mean Mike Thomas? Is it Mike Thomas? Did you ask me about? Clarify that for me, Mickey. Trail says Breeze and Jared Cook cost us Super Bowl. Mark said, I know I have flying duck. I know I have flying back and forth. Well, look, Mickey, I'm gonna ask that last one to you, bro. What you said, Mike Thomas is who you talking about, bro? If it's Mike Thomas you're talking about, Mickey, I don't think Mike gave up on us, bro. This year, it's just you got to remember, bro. You know, looking at it, Mike Thomas was activated. He missed how many games? You know, what was it when they deactivated him? He missed like what? I want to say almost a month worth of games. How many games did Mike Thomas miss when they benched him? I don't know. I wouldn't say he gave up. Mike Thomas, that's not Mike. Can't guard Mike's makeup. Okay, yeah, Mike Thomas. Okay, all right. So no, I wouldn't say it's in Mike Thomas's makeup to give quit up on you. He wanted to play. He was frustrated because of those injuries, and when they benched him, he missed several games, and he came back in that game. And really, man, sometimes we think about how great these guys are, but sometimes when you coming off of injury and you haven't played in a couple of games, you're thrust back into action. Sometimes there's a growing pain, a process where you got rust on you, where you got to get your routes crisp. Don't expect Mike, who missed several games, to come back in there after dealing with lower extremity injuries and run crisp, pristine routes, you know, coming back in there. Don't expect that. You know, realistically speaking, you know, he needs some time to kind of get himself together. And the cornerback for Tampa Bay played him really well. The guy played him. He was putting hands on Mike, grabbing him. The referees wasn't calling that kind of stuff, but Mike usually fights that off, but he still just didn't look 100%. And then as you notice, when the year was over with, you know, what occurred was he had surgery. He couldn't have the surgery during the year because he still wanted to play, because if he had it, that would have stopped him for the rest of the year. But he had surgery as soon as the year was over with, which goes to show me that something was really going on wrong right there. He wasn't 100% himself. So whatever that was, I think that was impacting him. But I don't think give up is in can't guard Mike's nature. He wants to show up and show out, and I think that's a major part of his game. So I'll never put that with him. I don't think he is that type of player to like quit on you like that, you know, like a Jared Cook did. Like Jared Cook wasn't prepared to play. Jared Cook came out there, alligator armed the ball. He didn't fumble. He didn't let the guy poke the ball out running across the middle of the field. You know, you're supposed to secure it. Then later on, he tried to catch a ball with his hands as opposed to his body, let the ball go through his hands, off his shoulder pad, up into the air to an interception. So, I mean, this son of a bitch was responsible for 2 turnovers and several really disagreeable plays that impacted us in the matchup. He wasn't the only one, but he was a guy that you paid $16 million for 2 years, and he was supposed to be the complement that helped you get over that. He was one of the key people that helped put you in the ground. But that's on Jared Cook, and you put that on Jared Cook, but you also have to be real with yourself and say, who's the coach of the team? Who allowed Jared Cook to go out there and prepare and play like that, and you know he wasn't ready? You watching him just like I was watching him. You know that that man wasn't prepared to play in that contest. After he fumbled that ball, he should have been pulled off the field and not allowed to go back out there. Y'all all know I'm talking the truth. When you see a veteran that as old as Jared Cook, alligator arming the ball, not protecting the ball, running across the center of the field, he is not prepared to play. He should have been pulled off the field after that fumble, and somebody else should have been given an opportunity to play. Keep it real. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it real. That's what it should have been. He was not prepared to play. The head coach has to see that and make that adjustment. He was not prepared to play. That's like leaving a guy out there like PJ Williams or somebody who can't cover their own bed, getting burnt, toast, twisted, fricasseed, and everything else, and you just leaving them out there. And you ain't taking them out and putting somebody else saying, man, I ain't going to stand up here and watch you get turned around and fricasseed like this all day. You up out of here. Get out of here. Now, see, he didn't do that. So, I mean, for we could blame Cook all we want, but who put him out there and let him continue to play, and we know he wasn't ready? That's the real part about it. Keep it real 100%. Don't go 50% real. Go 100% real. Keep it 100%. Thank you for that, bro. What's up, Deputy Mario? Good to see the family member, Deputy Mario. What you doing up this late, man? Don't you? What you doing up this late, Deputy Mario? I know you got to work tomorrow, don't you, brother? What's up, fam? How you doing? He says people must know the difference between real NFL football and Madden. These are humans, not video games. That is right, brother, Deputy Mario. Appreciate you there, man. I appreciate you. And that's a part of it, though, man. Is that that's true. That is true. And sometimes they can get. That's a great statement because I can understand how people can kind of mix up the two. You're right, bro. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. They got to know the difference. Sometimes you got to explain it to them because a lot of people looking at it and saying that. But I tell you what, bro, if you play Madden and you play real football, I know one thing's for certain. You got to make good decisions no matter what you're doing. You know, it'll end bad, period. So I appreciate the commentary, Deputy Mario. Thank you for being here, brother. Good to hear from you. I thought about you the other day. I was like, I wonder if Deputy Mario doing, man. Good to hear from you, bro. Thank you for popping in here. Iceman says Sean Payton is not on Bill level, bro. Bill Belichick's level. All right, old Peyton would have done that. Let's see. McSessy Blacksmith says Kellogg, same age, a few days apart. He's fighting with himself. Kim says Jared Cook is punch drunk. Anthony says Twitter humming about Drew talking to management about coming back. No disrespect, but damn. Well, we'll see, bro. We'll see. What could he be talking to them about? He already gave them the money. And man, what does it say if you tell, see, that's what I'm saying. That wasn't the plan. The plan was for Drew to be here 1 year, then give the team over to Taysom. And when I say that, people be like, what? Sean Payton, hold on here. Let me see if I can pull up the article here. It's so much better to show you than to tell you. If it's still online. You know, remember, it just was a year ago. Maybe I could pull it up. Give me a second, family. Let me see if I could pull this up. Because I always say this. And then, of course, I covered this last show. And I don't want to go through the show archives right now. Let me see if I can pull this up from last year. Oh, man. Let me see if I can pull it up. I'm trying to see if I can pull it up if it's still out there. I know I have it on the show when I covered it at the time. I'm trying to see if it's still out there because this happened last year. But at the start of the year when Peyton asked for Drew Brees to come back because Taysom wasn't ready. Let me see if I can find that. Let me see, when was this? March, all right. Give me just a second, family. Hold on here. I want to be able to pull up the article in which Sean Payton asked Drew Brees to come back because, let me see, Payton asked Drew Brees to come back. Taysom isn't ready. If one thing, I'm going to find it if it's sooner or later. I don't see if I don't see it up there anymore. That's why it's good that I do these shows. It's archived. But I'll tell you one thing, man. Oh, that's what was it, 2020. Put the year in there. Because I remember this happened. And I covered it. And I wish I had some more time with y'all so I could be able to go over that video. You know, hold on, family. Y'all just give me a moment here. Let me see. All right, so we're going to go down. Here go the third paragraph right here, right? That's hit it. It says, Payton said early this offseason he anticipated Hill's contract would take a little more work than that of starter Drew Brees, an impending free agent who's already declared he'll return to New Orleans. But it's apparent the Saints want Hill in the building, with previous reports indicating the team even wants Brees to help pass the torch to Hill in 2021. Did you see that? Let's get specific here. This is in the report. For all these people that keep talking that Sean Payton wasn't grooming this guy for nothing, look at the report. And I had to dig for this crap. I had to go back in the 900 plus shows we got and find this up just to show the family members a little bit of football forensics right here. Now look at this report. Let me see if I can kind of superimpose it so you can see it a little bit better. Look at this. Sean Payton said early this offseason he anticipated Hill's contract would take a little more work than the starter Brees, an impending free agent who has already declared he'll return to New Orleans. But it's apparent the Saints want Hill in the building, with previous reports indicating the team right here wants Brees to help, quote, pass the torch, end quote, to Hill in 2020, 2021. Hill himself has said he believes he's a franchise quarterback with a possible future in New Orleans. That was the report. There were several other reports indicating this. And I know for the rest of the family members out there that's seen this before, but people that didn't believe what I was saying, I've been telling people this. This is from March 2020 of last year. This is March 2020 of last year, and we covered it in several shows leading up to it. I even went in further and started breaking down what Sean Payton was doing at the time, while this article was after he begged Drew Brees to come back. But people kept saying that that nobody's seen him as a parent to Drew Brees. This article says it and even quotes it. As Sean Payton said that he wanted Brees to help pass the torch to Hill in 2021. Pass the torch, meaning Hill takes over the quarterback job in 2020 to 2021, meaning this year is Taysom's team. Drew Brees leaves, and this passes the torch to Taysom Hill. So all these people out here talking about Sean Payton and Brees, he never intended to give the team over to Taysom this year. The passing the torch means this year. This was an article a year ago. That is supposed to happen right now in the offseason, meaning Drew Brees was supposed to pass the torch this year to Taysom Hill, meaning he was supposed to retire and go and do whatever he wanted to do, and the team would be under the stewardship of Taysom Hill. I've been telling people this for a while. So, I mean, that's a part of it though, man. But the reality is, listen, that's what it comes down to. I know it took a while. I needed to define that, but I wanted to be able to show y'all that little piece of information, because a lot of people didn't know that that's what they wanted to do.
All right, finally, John, let's head to the Jets. Sometimes the worse you're.
They didn't understand that part about the game. They thought it was that it. But I was telling people that the plan was Drew Brees plays one season past the quarterback position over to Taysom Hill, which is this year, and he goes out somewhere. Taysom is the quarterback of the team. That's what it was supposed to be, and that article proves it. So with that being said, man, now they know that, like I said, we documented this. We covered this. We showed it. So with that being said, fam, I appreciate y'all for chiming in, man. Appreciate y'all. It's 2 o'clock in the morning up here doing football forensics. So, I mean, see, and that was the plan. The plan is for Drew last year, 1 year. Taysom wasn't ready. Now this year, 1 year is over with. Taysom's supposed to be ready to take the team into the future. But all of a sudden now that we have to wait on Drew to decide on what he's going to do. That wasn't supposed to be, because he told Taysom Hill that. Notice I'm showing you that Sean Payton told Drew Brees, we need you for a year to get Taysom together. Taysom would take over the team. He told Taysom Hill that. So when did it become Drew Brees can take over the team now this year? What happened with that? So why did you just lie to Taysom Hill to get him to sign? That wasn't a part of the game. That was not a part of the game. That's why I keep telling people when it comes down to it that you don't believe Sean Payton around this time when he talk about quarterbacks, because he always lie. I just called him in a lie right there. Drew Brees wasn't supposed to be playing this year. He's supposed to retire, and they're supposed to get a team over to Taysom Hill. That's Sean Payton's words. He told Taysom Hill that. And Taysom, I just played you a part of the interview where Taysom was telling the people that last year's Super Bowl, before all this mess stuff started breaking out with the C-19 madness, that he wanted to be a quarterback. I want to throw the touchdown. I don't want to just run it out. I mean, running is nice, but I want to throw the touchdown. Man, come on, man. Don't talk to me about this Sean Payton shit. Sean Payton can't be trusted about quarterbacks around this time. He's just too too much deception on his end. He told Taysom it's this year now. Drew Brees coming back. What you think how Taysom feel about that? You told me this was my turn to be a quarterback. Well, didn't I tell you when he told you that you should have went and talked to Teddy Bridgewater? He told Teddy Bridgewater the same shit the year before. The same shit. He deceives, just lies. But see, when I show you that, they're going to just say, oh, well, that's just Sean Payton. You got to do what you got to do. I hear you, bro. Just make excuses for the son bitch all you want. But lying is lying. You don't have to sit up here and deceive the dude over and over again. He told him it's his team, and now it's Drew Brees' team. Waiting on Drew Brees. Man, come on, bro. It's some nonsense. But anyway, that'll do it for the show. I appreciate you guys for chiming in on this one. I just wanted to show you that article about the direction of the team. And I tried to tell Sean that they knew what they was going to do last year. They said it was a whole game plan. Sometimes we forget. I don't forget that shit. And it's good for me to finally be able to show y'all guys that. But listen, I appreciate y'all for chiming in. The show tonight is 2 o'clock. I shall return later on in the day. We'll have a call-in show. We'll do a live call-in show later on today. We'll also do a Pelican show later on in the night. So I appreciate you guys staying up late with me on the Sports Coma here. I'll let y'all guys go to sleep after that. I appreciate y'all giving me a little time to be able to dig up that information. So please hit the like button, subscribe if you aren't a subscriber. Thank you, Big Sean, for becoming a sponsor of the show. My man, appreciate that as well. Thank you, Michael Hagan, as well, liking on Facebook and all the other platforms we're simultaneously broadcasted to. I appreciate y'all staying up late, and I'm going to see y'all on the next go-around later on in the show. Who that to you? Peace, and I'm out.
Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. #1 sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies in the vets, players you should look at. It's the Sports Coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game, party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, who that nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the Sports Coma, all we know is say Super Bowl. Yeah.